Uh, All right. Hey, good afternoon. I'm Scott Moon for scottmoonwriter.com. And there goes my son to work. Apparently, I don't know if you heard that. He was giving me a shout out on his way to work. Anyway, I'm here to start back up my Friday Five. It's something I do in my newsletter. If you're interested in newsletters, you should obviously subscribe to my newsletter. There's a way right there on my website, which is at scottmoonwriter.com. So I have five things that are pretty interesting. I have props today, which I'm kind of excited about. Don't get too excited, but they are pretty cool, I think. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how glad I am to be starting a new year. Not because I was that worried about 2021 or 2020. I mean, yes, it sucked, but I've always been kind of a new resolution type of guy. I do them at the beginning of the year, but I also do them after my birthday. I have complicated spreadsheets with my friends know are kind of ridiculous. Everybody's saying hi, so let me flip over to Facebook because it's not showing up in StreamYard. Okay. Hey, Tyler, Thomas, good to see you. Everybody that I'm missing as a talk, get on in there. So I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy this. So my Friday Five is something I used to do in a newsletter, which was kind of popular. People seem to like it. A lot of days newsletters for indie writers are, hey, buy my book. Here's a promotion, which is interesting because a lot of us kind of have the same fans. And so I'm interested to see from a sales perspective how important they are. And sure, I do want to sell books. What I really would like to do more this year is kind of get to know the people who are already in my list and on my group, and obviously invite friends. So I'd like to have a lot more people here in the moon base to talk about just writing and fun stuff and games and all these different things. So that's the purpose of my Friday Five, is to share what I'm doing besides writing. Over at Keystroke Medium, I talk about that a lot. I'll talk about that here too a little bit. So let's just get started. So the number one thing on my Friday Five is an amazing video I watched. So last week I started watching a video. I think it was, I can't remember the guy's name. Let me look at it. The podcaster's name is Rich Roll, which is some sort of, I did a little bit of looking up on him, and he was a big time Ironman competitor and things like that. He's big on being vegan. I'm really not, but I've done that, and more power to him. But anyway, so he interviewed a guy named Dr. Andrew Huberman, who's a neuroscientist. Now, a lot of YouTube things I watch are fairly short. Hey, Jay Clifton Slater in the house. Hey, good to see you. So I watch shorter YouTube because I'm trying to get information most of the time. And this one was like 2.5 hours long. And I was like, I'm never going to watch that. But actually, the Rich Roll, the interviewer, and then Dr. Huberman, they're kind of fun and well-spoken, but not like trying to be, not super fakey. And so Dr. Andrew Huberman is a neuroscientist, but he talks about his growing up, which is funny because basically he became a feral skateboarding kid in the 80s and 90s, and talks about that. And it's very interesting how you go from that to doing what he is now. So it's a great video. I'll put the link in the description. The name of the YouTube video was Change Your Brain, Neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman on the Rich Roll podcast. And there's several different things about how we interact and motivate ourselves with little sequential goals. So I always like that. I'm into productivity, but it really talked about the value of focus. And it's something I'm trying to do more this year. I've been a big multitasker. I will write while I stretch, or I will, read a book while I'm on the bike. And will probably still do some of those things because I get bored on the bike. I've been listening to audiobooks lately, and I'll get to that on point 4 of this video. But I'm trying to be more focused, more mindfulness. Like I did a stretching routine on a video that I follow, and I tried to just do the stretching routine. I didn't try to plan out my day or do 1,000 other things. So I would highly recommend getting that. Change Your Brain, Neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman. Listening to it may take you a couple of days to kind of piece your way through it, but very interesting. If nothing else, yeah, he was totally a feral skateboarder kid. I'm looking at Walt. Hey, Walt, glad to see you. Dr. Huberman, basically, he goes through like a lot of the kids of the 80s had a family breakup where his parents got divorced and his mom kind of checked out, and he just would take the he was in the I never heard of it before, the gun school, which apparently is some sort of private school that is like really high performance and whatnot. But else has a really high suicide rate because the kids are under a lot of pressure. Well, he was going there because obviously he was smart and his family were scientists, but he would just take the subway up to like San Francisco or someplace and just hang out all day with skateboarders and get in fights. And it was very interesting. Listen to the podcast. He tells a great story, very intriguing. Normally I can't handle a 2-hour video like that because I got other things to do. So number 2 is something I accomplished. I'll keep this short, but I did write 668,929 words in 2020. My total hours spent writing, which I track both words and hours, because sometimes, you want to get your daily word counts, but a lot of times that doesn't work because you're revising or something, or you have a lot of other life interferences. So my total hours I spent last year writing were 972 hours. So that's almost 1,000 hours a year. And they talk about, if you're a big fan of productivity, you've heard of the 10,000 hour rule, about you got to get to 10,000 hours doing something to get really good at or master it. And I'm definitely not a master at writing, but I do try towards that goal, strive towards it often. And so I think that's pretty average for me, 900,000 hours a year, since I've been doing this since I was 12. Obviously not all those are quite as productive, but that's a lot of hours that I've put into this. I love to write. Would like nothing more than to just write full time, which hopefully is coming soon. And I guess the only other thing I've accomplished, and besides, my normal books that some of you know about that I've produced, is managed to just kind of hang in there. It wasn't the best year, but made it through. So we all made it through together. And let's see, something I'm reading right now. This is prop number 1 is I'm reading this book right here, Great Stories Don't Write Themselves by Larry Brooks. I'm a big fan of Larry Brooks' story engineering. I use it all the time in my story planning and kind of to keep myself on track as far as pacing and whatnot. So I'm reading that. I've been working on it for a while. I keep stopping and starting. 2021, going to get it done. I'm going to be more intentional about doing my educational reading, for lack of a better term. Let's see who's Facebook user. Let me look, see if I can see that over here on my thing. 33 hours just on audio on your Audible books. Yep. I like my audiobooks, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. I'm having some more coming out. The first book in the Brothers in Arms series came out sequentially with book 1. That's done, but they are working on book 2 and 3. Let's see. The first Podium Publishers Pack for my Alien Invasion series, which will include Invasion Day and Resistance Day, will come out in mid-January on audiobook. And I believe Reaper 4, what is Reaper 4? Wrath of the Reaper, I think, is coming out sometime in January as well. I'll get that out and put it in my newsletter. So that's what I'm reading. I'm reading other stuff too. I'm always reading like a bunch of books at once, but I had to pick one, so that's the one I picked. Number 4 in my Friday 5 is an audiobook I'm devouring, because everybody knows I love audiobooks. I listened to Helldivers years ago and absolutely loved it. It's on definitely my top 10, maybe my top 5 list of all time. And recently I acquired a couple of signed hardback Helldiver books from Nick Sansbury Smith. So that was super exciting. And they sent me this patch. So I got this, and the video doesn't really do it justice, but it's a really cool patch. I just need to find a jacket or something to put it on, and that'll be cool. So I'm listening to Helldivers 2 right now and loving it. It's very awesome. I highly recommend, if you're looking for science fiction with like really intense suspenseful elements and a very fantastical kind of setting and premise, the Helldivers is the way to go for sure. That's what I thought. Walt says, that's dope. I'm like, that's exactly what that is. It's awesome. I actually keep it right here on my desk, and I look at it. I was going to mount it on up here where I have my Keystroke Medium sticker, but I haven't quite figured that out yet. So yeah, I could put it on my go bag. That's a great idea. And then I can get more of them to put on there too. Number 5, the last thing is something I'm thankful for. And most of you here that are in the chat will know where I'm going with this. Is I'm definitely most thankful for my family and my community. And that's basically Keystroke Medium. All of the writers I've met through 20 books to 50K, and just writers I've met over the years. And it's interesting because when I started self-publishing, Twitter was the thing, and I met most everybody on Twitter. And I met like Nicole Gropas and Shannon Mayer and several others on Twitter, and then lost track of them totally. Well, you'll know that they've done really well with their writing, but now I've kind of met them again through Facebook and other things, and it's good. It's really neat to see people that you met 5 years ago, and now they're back in your online community, as it were. So very, very cool. I definitely recommend their books as well. So that's pretty much it. I'm going pretty quickly through this, but that's my Friday 5. I could go on with making a Friday 6 or a Friday 10, but Friday 5 rhymes a little bit better. And I think I stole the idea from Tim Ferriss. He does his Friday 5 in his newsletter, and I'll change what the 5 are each week, but we're trying to check in and do on that. So welcome to 2021. I hope everybody's excited, not just because we put 2020 in the background, but because a new year is always a great thing. There's lots of positivity. Everybody has goals. And so the thing we should do is support each other a lot, tone down the negativity, and just move on. So circling back around to that first thing I talked about, the Change Your Brain Neuroscientist, by neuroscience Dr. Andrew Huberman. He mentioned an interesting study back in the 60s, when apparently it was legal to do these types of things, where they did research where they would put electrodes in somebody's brain, and you could push a button and it'd make you feel drunk. You could push a button and it'd make you feel sexually aroused. You could push a button and make you feel happy. But the button that people would not stop pushing, and this is very interesting, was a part of the brain that stimulated anger and frustration. And that was by far and large the most push button in the study. And so I think I'm not sure what that question means. Are olive oil wrestling matches okay? Yes, absolutely. Go forth and conquer, as it were. So in this study, they were talking about, what surprised me is that what people seem to crave the most to get the biggest dopamine hit. It talks a lot about dopamine in your motivational system in this video I watched. What people crave most is kind of drama. People crave drama, and that's why they want anger and frustration. Everybody wants to pick a Facebook fight. Everybody wants to pick a side. Everyone wants their side to win. And rage is addictive. Facebook user, it really is, and it becomes more addictive, and you set yourself up to need it more the more you engage in kind of that hatefulness. So I like the golden rule. Why would I treat somebody differently than I want to be treated? And I don't want people to disrespect me, or not value my opinions, or try to tell me what to do, or just generally be shitty towards me. So trying to be nice. You got to be nice until it's time to not be nice, but that's a whole different podcast. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. I hope everybody having a great day, and we'll have 364 more great days to follow. And then we can start again next year in 2022 and go even better. Oh, hey, Leo, Facebook users, Leo. Awesome. Yep. Apparently, so when I do these StreamYard videos, is what I use to host my videos. You have to let StreamYard know who you are on Facebook, and then I can see that in the StreamYard thing. But that's totally up to you. Have a great day, and I'm glad to see you all again. See if I can end this broadcast without, you should see my desk. It's a clutter of stuff. I should really make that a goal too. Clean up my office, but about lost the coffee. Peace.